The palace corridors were buzzing with whispers, the kind that creep into conversations and stain even the most loyal smiles. They told me, over and over, that loving a foreign woman would be my downfall. They claimed she would never understand my world, my traditions, my responsibilities. They warned me about the dangers of mixing two distant cultures into one fragile heart. But every time I saw her, every time I heard her voice, I realized the warnings were nothing compared to the fire of truth that burned inside me. I didn't care. Love had chosen me, and it had chosen her. They spoke as if love should be measured in bloodlines and borders, as if the heart could be contained by maps and flags. I have lived my entire life under the weight of expectations, the kind that suffocate a man if he lets them. But she, this foreign woman, taught me the beauty of freedom in love. She didn't come to my life to change who I was. She came to remind me who I could be. Her ways were different, her laughter carried a foreign melody, but in her eyes I saw the same truth my ancestors spoke about in their poetry. Love is beyond the reach of politics and prejudice. They feared the unknown in her, but I found comfort in it. I found peace in her ability to surprise me, to challenge me, to break the chains of routine that my life had been tied to for years. I didn't need someone who knew every corner of my world. I needed someone who could paint it with new colors. They warned me she might never bow to my customs, but I didn't want a woman who would bow. I wanted a queen who would stand beside me, her crown different from mine, yet shining just as bright. When I walked with her through the markets of Dubai, I saw the way people looked. Some smiled, others whispered, a few frowned. But her hand in mine was steady, unshaken. She wasn't here for approval, she was here for love. And I realized then that the strongest love is the one that dares to exist despite the eyes watching, despite the voices doubting. They warned me about her accent, her different faith, her upbringing far from the deserts I call home. But her heart spoke the same language as mine. She once told me, if I am to love you, I must love your world too. And she kept her word. She learned my traditions, she walked barefoot on the desert sands, she tasted our coffee with both hands holding the cup, honoring the way my people do. But she never erased her own ways. She taught me her songs, her dances, her stories of a place where snow falls silently. We built a bridge between our worlds, plank by plank, and stood together in the middle, where love felt like home for both of us. They warned me I would lose myself with her. But I found more of myself than ever before. She taught me how to speak with my heart, not just my titles. She taught me that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the purest form of power. She didn't love the sheikh, she loved the man beneath the crown. And in her eyes, I was not a ruler to be obeyed, but a soul to be understood. That is worth more than any tradition I could sacrifice. When the first storm came, when criticism grew loud and heavy, she stood beside me without flinching. She didn't hide from the words thrown at her, she let them pass through her like the wind through an open window. They don't know me, she said softly. But you do, that's enough. And in that moment, I realized why I could never let her go. She didn't need the world's approval to be mine. At official gatherings, some would question her presence with polite but sharp remarks. I would watch her smile, gracious yet unyielding, never letting their judgment pierce her. She wasn't here to blend in, she was here to belong. And slowly, even the coldest hearts began to warm, seeing that her love for me wasn't a passing fascination. It was a promise written in the language of loyalty. I am not blind to the differences between us. She comes from a land where the sun hides for months, where the sea freezes, where traditions are painted in colors different from ours. But love is not about erasing differences, it's about celebrating them. Her world has taught me patience, her culture has taught me depth, and her presence has taught me that love, in its truest form, is the meeting point of two different journeys. They told me she would never understand my responsibilities as a ruler. But she does more than understand, she strengthens me. When the weight of my duties crushes my spirit, she reminds me that a king who cannot feel is no king at all. She listens, even to the things I cannot say to anyone else. She holds my silence like a sacred secret, and in that quiet, I find the courage to face the world again. Every time I look at her, I see the proof that love can cross oceans, break barriers, and silence the loudest warnings. She is not from my land, but she has become the heartbeat of it. And if that means defying tradition, then I will do so without hesitation. A crown is nothing without the heart beneath it, and my heart beats for her. We have walked through criticism like warriors walking through fire, scarred, perhaps, but stronger. I don't care about the warnings anymore, because they were born of fear. And fear has no place in the kingdom of love we have built. The more they doubted us, the more we held on to each other. And now, those who once doubted sit silently, watching the kind of love they can only dream about. They can keep their warnings, their doubts, their predictions of failure. I will keep her. I will keep the woman who brought life into my days, who taught me the beauty of two cultures dancing together, who proved that love is the greatest rebellion. And as long as I live, I will never let go of the foreign woman they feared, because she is my home. And when history writes my story, I wanted to say this: he was warned, but he chose love. He was told to let her go, but he held her closer. He was told she didn't belong, but together they proved that love belongs everywhere. And in the end, it wasn't the warnings that mattered, it was the courage to love beyond them. The night before our wedding, I walked alone in the courtyard, my mind heavy with the echoes of every warning I had ever heard. The moonlight bathed the palace walls in silver, and I thought about the journey that brought us here. They told me the road would be rough, that our cultures would clash, that our love would crack under the pressure. But the truth was, every storm we had faced only welded us closer together. In the silence of that night, I whispered to the stars, I choose her again, and again, and again. When she walked down the aisle, I didn't just see a bride, I saw a warrior. A woman who had stood against oceans of opinion, waves of prejudice, and tides of tradition to reach this moment. Her smile was not timid, it was victorious. And in that moment, I knew we weren't just two people in love. We were a statement, a living proof that love is not defined by boundaries.